mourning all of those that were lost in these unfortunate tragedies. Mr. Molenberg, I'm going to dispense with a lot of what my colleagues have already touched on and just dive into some really poignant, specific questions. So a very brief answer is what I'm looking for. Boeing did not consider erroneous MCAS activation to present a catastrophic risk, correct? Let me repeat that. Boeing did not consider erroneous MCAS activation to present a catastrophic risk, correct?
Congressman, I believe the hazard analysis, if that's what you're referring to, John,
Yes,
help
that's
me out
correct.
correctly
Yes.
here.
A single MCAS event.
So is that correct or not?
A single MCAS event was not considered, I think you used the word catastrophic.
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you. And as a result of that lower classification of risk, Boeing did not perform detailed evaluations, failure modes, effect analysis, and fault tree analysis to fully understand the effects of erroneous MCAS activation, correct? I'm just looking for yes or no.
We did a thorough analysis of it using our processes that we've used, and we did consider multiple inputs into MCAS.
But did he do the failure modes and effect analysis and the fault tree analysis? Yes or no?
No.
Thank you. In fact, in simulator tests, Boeing didn't even simulate erroneous MCAS activation to the full 2.5 degrees of stabilizer motion, correct?
Congressman, I think I'll have to follow up with you because I believe we did go to beyond 2.5. I think we went to 3.0.
If you could follow up, that would be great. Boeing didn't consider repetitive erroneous MCAS activations in those tests, did it? Boeing didn't consider repetitive erroneous MCAS activations in these tests.
We did consider multiple MCAS inputs.
Did Boeing assume pilots would be the redundancy to save the airplane during an erroneous MCAS activation?
We assumed that pilots would recognize it and trim it out, and
So is that a yes?
yes.
In retrospect, given that the erroneous activation of MCAS played a critical role in both 737 MAX crashes, would you agree that this was a flawed assumption that the pilots were the backup?
We used an industry standard that's been around for a long time and around pilots' actions, and in these cases, that assumption did not play out in these
So
actions.
is that a yes or a no?
It's an assumption that didn't play out, and I think it's one of the things that we need to address going forward.
So that would be a yes.
If you could restate your question,
In retrospect, given the erroneous activation of MCAS played a critical role in both 737 MAX crashes, would you agree that this was a flawed assumption that the pilots were the backup?
yeah, I would say that the assumption needs to be addressed.
So the yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen.